And welcome, everyone. Welcome to this
Mm.
wonderful second masterclass on manifesting. Michele and I are so excited to be here. Hi, Michele.
Hi, Teri, and hi, everyone. Thank you so much for showing up this evening on a Monday evening. And we were just so energized by the recent group that we hosted. And for those of you who are on the call and don't know, just briefly, Teri and I started with a masterclass like this, similar to this, and then the vision board workshop. But not your everyday vision board workshop, because it morphed into a 30-day manifestation challenge that was, I think it was kind of mind blowing. I really do. And each day we offered another exercise or support for the group members and going for the gold, so to speak, right? And it was just amazing. But I have to say, it all just fell into place so beautifully. And with all the exercise and support that we offered, it wouldn't have worked if we didn't have such an incredible group of amazing, enthusiastic, committed women. And some of you are on tonight, so thank you. And we just really received the most beautiful testimonials as well, which I really touched us deeply. So those of you who were part of the group and that are on the call tonight, thank you so much. And you know what they say, right? It takes teamwork to make the dream work. And that's the truth. And I'm going to ask you all, though, to mute yourselves. I think you're all pretty much muted until, and again, like Teri said, if you have something, a question you'd like to ask, raise your hand or put the hand up. So I'll turn it over to you, Teri, because I'm sure that you wanted to say something as well.
I am just excited to be here. It's so good to see all of your faces. We have spent the last month, most people that are here have spent the last month focusing on what it looks like to manifest. What are some of those things we can do to bring that more clearly to our mind and to our lives? And wow, like Michele said, the testimonials were incredible. And we're going to ask if anybody would like to share for just a minute. If there's anyone that wants to do that, just raise your hand and we'll get to you. But one of the things that Michele and I had talked about was, as with anything in life, if you've learned a new skill, if you've learned the tools to work with that, whatever it is that you're got going on, which in this case is manifesting, if you don't keep it at the forefront of your mind, it's going to start slipping back. It's going to go back to those old habits of procrastination and, just not being sure of yourself. So that's why we wanted to do this masterclass, to just kind of, bring more info to you to how we can keep it at the forefront, how we can keep moving forward. But also it's like with any tool that you have, any skill set that you have, if you don't use it, you lose it. It's like learning a foreign language. And I found this out years ago because I was pretty much fluent in knowing the French language, and I could speak it, but I spoke it with a hillbilly accent, so no French person could have understood me anyway. But at least I could understand it, and I could say some of the words that I knew were common words that people would understand. So it's the same thing with any skill that we develop. If you don't constantly keep that in your awareness and know how to use it, it just goes back there into that back folder in your file cabinet. And, someday you might pull it out and look at it again, but we want you to keep it at the forefront of that filing cabinet. We want it always open where we can look at things together.
Right. And also, as a reminder, this whole thing about manifestation, and some people are like really skeptical about it, but we know, right? I mean, first of all, Teri and I have been involved in the manifestation, if you want to call it, the law of attraction manifestation, For myself, it's been probably 35 years. How many years for you, Teri, do you think?
About 35. Yeah.
Yeah. And it works. And sometimes even for me, I go, wow, this is so unbelievable how it works, but it does work for sure. But the important piece of it, and that's why we're doing this class tonight, we want to give you 4 tips, but we also want to remind you that, as Teri just said, and I guess we really kind of hammer away at that, it takes consistency. You have to keep doing it. And I don't know, do you want to go, like, we'll start with the 4 tips and then.
I thought we'd start with a couple of testimonies if anybody wants to share something.
That would be great. Would anybody like to share anything about the recent class that we did?
Yeah, we won't take a lot of time with testimonials because we do have a presentation, but we'd love to hear, because that encourages all of us. When you win, we all win. So,
well, Kathy has her hand up. So,
Kathy.
Kathy, you want to unmute yourself? And you have the floor.
Are you talking to Kathleen or Kathy?
Kathleen.
Okay, all right. There's a couple of Kathys. Thank you. Well, first of all, I want to say thank you, and I'll do this as quickly as possible. And I've been in the manifestation business for about 30 years also. But I have to thank several people here. Grace, Isis, first of all, for introducing me to Teri and to the rest of you. And for Charlie, for being a Charlie Angel for Hotto Bear, and helping me to get Books and Bears to a hospital. It was an amazing manifestation for me. But then once we started the manifestation challenge, something even more opened up, where somebody gave me thousands of dollars, a donation to my nonprofit. Charlie was instrumental, and then this other person that I didn't even know. And it happened about a week after I did the vision board. And I thank all of you for doing this and for everyone's support. And I'm here to support everyone too. So thank you.
Thank you, Kathy.
Thank you, Kathy. That was beautiful. Anybody else want to speak? We'll have one more. Yeah, it looks like Auntie Jean.
Hi, everyone. Actually, it's been so amazing. I've had so many that, it works. I don't know how to explain it other than that. I'm going to get to go to Ireland for one thing. I've always wanted to travel, and now I get to go to Ireland. I can't believe it. Wow. But I want to just tell you my most recent one, which is not stupendous, but for us, it was really important. My husband and I had gotten letters from our retirement. We were teachers. And they were cutting our retirement. And we were not really sure what we were going to do because, as you know, the prices have risen. And so I told him, well, let's not worry about it. Let's turn it over to the angels and to I call him my divine father. We'll just manifest, And was 2 weeks later, we got a letter from the retirement company that they weren't going to reduce our retirement, that they gave it back to us. We're going to get the same thing. So we're very secure and happy about that. So even in little ways, for everyday kind of things, you manifest and you get your prayers answered.
Yeah,
right. I just want to say that.
Thank you, Jane.
Beautiful. Okay, do we have time for Brookie? Let's do Brookie.
Do you want to change the view?
Yeah, I clicked, I was trying to raise or
Oh,
lower Jean's hand and I changed the view.
okay. 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 How about you, Brooke?
Sure. Oh, thank you so much for keeping me on track and more attentive to what I would like to manifest in my life. I just love the oath so much. And one of the many things on my list was manifesting a loving partner. And I have been talking to this wonderful young man for a while now. And it just so happened to fall in this time period that so when I was in Vermont, we really connected in a big way. And then I left and came to Pennsylvania, and I invited him here sometime in February. And he just happened to mention when we were talking on the phone, did you really intend for me to come visit you in February? Because I have some time off and I would really love to do so. So I just let go of any fear of like, oh no, this is big. He's going to come stay for a while and stuff. And just fully accepted him. And we've just had the most amazing time. And it's just such a deeper relationship than I've had in the past already, with so much eye contact, and like we've done some fun things like eye gazing, and we're just it's so pure, authentic, and true, and open, and raw, and it's just amazing.
Wow.
And
Wow.
yeah,
Brookie, was that on your vision board?
it is on my vision board for
Yes.
sure. Yep.
Yes, yes, yes.
So
Yeah.
beautiful.
Okay.
Thank
That's
you.
been very magical.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Thank
I'm
you,
so
Brooke.
grateful.
Thank you. Okay, and Kathy, you have your hand up.
Yes, quickly, I mean, I did add this, that things are really going well as far as Bob was able to get the business up and going, even though Colin is across the US. We all know that story. But I'm not going to bring in it because I know everything is working perfectly. But he got it up and going himself, which is, I think, manifested wisdom and the knowledge, and just to just keep trying. And what he did with, I mean, we unfortunately had to dive into some of our retirement funds, which he did. And it doesn't matter because I know we're going to get it back tenfold. I do. I trust it. I think everything is working perfectly. He's sitting right here, if you're wondering who I'm talking
Hi,
to.
Bob. That's beautiful, Kathy. Thank you. There he
Thank
is.
you.
He's peeking his
Yay.
head in.
Hey,
Hi, Bob.
Hey.
Thank you for
Hi.
being with us. And Kathy touched on one of the points I think that we're going to talk about today. So that's a great segue for us, Michele.
Yeah, it is.
Thank you all thank you for the testimonies, everyone that spoke up. We appreciate you bringing us some excitement and hope. That's what that's all about. So, Michele?
Okay, so we wanted to present to you like 4 easy tips. I think they're pretty easy. And the first one is, this is all about manifesting, and what can you do to keep that energy up, and what steps do you need to do? And I have a book that I wrote, The Year of Living Miraculously, and some of these suggestions come from that book. I had a year-long program, and we did a lot of manifesting in that year. And that took really some type of commitment, right? I mean, that's a long time. So number one of the first things you really need to do when you're manifesting, or when you want to manifest, is define your goals. Define what it is that you really want. So you might say, I want to be happier. I want to make more money. Yeah, I mean, that's great. And these are big goals. but they're not really specific, or they're not really clear. You got to get really specific about it. You might think you really know what you want, but maybe in your mind, you're actually describing what you don't want. And this is like the number one law of attraction. This is 101. So here it is. If you're thinking, I don't want to be in debt anymore, you really, really need to reframe that as something like, I'm so happy that I'm debt free, or I have more than enough money to meet all my needs. So, do you guys get that? If you're shooting for happy, define happy. What does that look like for you? And I always encourage people to really go big. What it is that you feel like you really, really, really want. Define happy for you. Take the time to define it and describe it in detail. There's so much power in those, what do they say? Isn't there a saying that says the what is in the detail? Or is that the devil's in the details? No, maybe we don't want that.
The
Sorry.
devil's in the details, yeah.
Okay, yeah, scratch that. It's in the details, so.
The detail.
We'll
Make
Let's say
saying,
Success
Michele.
is in the details.
Right. So, because an incomplete description leaves the universe with a lot of options to materialize. And
Right.
I could go into a story, but I'm really not, because I know we're a little bit pressed for time, about someone who, had all of these, just what she wanted in a man. Well, I'll tell you real quick what she wanted in a man, and she got it, except for one little thing. She didn't say she wanted him to be single. She just assumed that the universe would deliver her somebody single. And so what happened was she did meet somebody that she really cared about and seemed to meet her criteria, but he was married. So scratch that. So you may have to spend, I always tell everybody, you may have to spend some really quiet time and think about what you want and why do you want it? Why do you want the things that you do? You have to have a really strong why. Otherwise, the energy behind what you want is going to be diminished. So what brings you joy in all areas of your life? So what do you have to say about that, Teri?
Well, I love that, Michele. And it brings us to a point of, you keep hearing to manifest, you just open up to receive. You just put out there, I want whatever it might be, a house. I want a man, I want a car, but you could end up with a Volkswagen Bug. There's nothing wrong with it, but it may not be your ideal car. So when you're talking about what's your why, what is your why for wanting what you want? And do you have an idea about what that might look like? So I think there's a fine line between just opening up and say, oh, I want money. Well, money could be $1. It could be a dime.
Yep.
So knowing that we're not going to put limits on anything, we also want to have an idea of what do I want? What is it that would create an energy for me that would help me move forward in my goals? What are those goals? So there is so much to this first part of defining your goals, defining what it would look like if you had it, visualizing it. So then when you say to the universe, I want money, the universe already sees that in your mind. Oh, you want $100,000 because that's what would help you achieve that goal that you have put out there that you want to do. So it's like that, leaving it open and unlimited without a roof, but also holding that image inside of what it might look like. And then this and something better. This is something I learned years ago. We can put out a thought, a request to the universe. I'd like to have that 100,000 or something better. So when you do that, that's the unlimited part. That's the part that says, surprise me, universe. I think I would do great with what my vision is, but maybe there's something a whole lot better that might open up for me. So knowing your why, defining your goal, and then being surprised by the universe, because it might just be a whole lot more than what you even thought you were worthy of or that you deserved.
Absolutely. Absolutely, Teri. Really good point. And one of the other things, do your goals, and in this, some of these things takes, time. Obviously, in 1 hour, we're not able to go really deep, but we want to just start you on this path of thinking about these things. So do your goals line up with your purpose or your mission in life? Do you even know what your purpose is? And that's really important to understand that, to figure that out. Because, we live in a world with other people, and it's set up that way because, number one, how else do we grow except through relationships? Except I will talk about myself in that respect. I know that every lesson that I have learned and how I've evolved spiritually is simply through relationships, whether that's relationships with my family, my friends, people that I've worked with, and with myself and with my higher power. All of those relationships teach me something about me and what I need to know and how I need to grow. So finding out your purpose or your mission in life is really another key in discovering what some of your goals are. So how do you figure out your why? Well, you've got to define it. And as we're talking about right here, there are ways that you can find out your purpose, you can find out what drives you, but all of those things figure into, discovering what your why is. And I think that, as I said, taking some time to really think about that, and there's other exercises you can do, can really open up a whole new world for you. So what do you think, Teri? Isn't it really important to find out what your purpose is?
Oh, it is so important, Michele. And once we start losing some of the doubts, losing some of the insecurities, and that can only happen with going inside, with doing the inside work. So if you want the outside manifestation of your dreams and your goals, you have to start on the inside and clear away any of the cobwebs, any of those old patterns that have forever in your life said you can't, you don't, you won't. When I was a teenager and I met my first husband, it was right out of high school, and I was sharing with my mom, this is going to happen. I'm going to get married. And her reaction was so bad, and she just kept pouring negative energy into it. You'll never amount to anything. I mean, there was just like some horrible thoughts. And so that was inside of me, that thought process of, oh, if I do this, it's going to be really bad. So we have all of these influences from parents, from caregivers, from teachers, from peers that are constantly putting energy inside of us. And so to clear all of that, you have to do the inner work and do forgiveness work and clear the path for you to now move forward powerfully, because you don't have anybody yakking in your ear and saying, that's going to be really bad if you try to do this, whatever this is for you, whatever your goal is.
And thank you for that, Teri, because that is a great segue to number 2. And sometimes I think number 2 should be number 1, because the problem that we run into and the things that will block us from manifesting, the problem that arises is when our subconscious is in opposition to what we want. And that can stop us short. It really can short circuit, because having the belief that anything is possible and getting rid of those limiting beliefs is what can really catapult us into a whole another level of manifesting and doing what we call soul work. And soul work is learning how to listen to our souls. But in order to do that, we need to remove the obstacles and the beliefs that block our awareness. So that's a really, really big one. So as you practice believing that you can do anything, that you can be anything, that you can create anything in your life, you empower yourself. And if you have had a hard time believing anything is possible, then keep it simple at first, but do something, just visualize manifesting something that is unexpected, but part of you still believes it's possible, like visualizing that a certain friend is going to call you, or somebody's going to call you and ask you out for coffee or to go someplace or for dinner or for drinks, or visualize finding a penny, heads up, visualize finding, I don't know, a feather or seeing something unusual. But if you really have a difficult time believing anything is possible, I just ask you to start with some small little things. And, just keep doing that. And then just keep shooting again for something that feels a little better, because that will raise your vibration. Okay. That's the work. This is how you start to practice believing that anything is possible. Because as you shift your thinking, I promise you that you will feel shifts happen in your life, and you will start noticing things going your way more often.
That's a great point, Michele. And I love that. Starting with the little, what we consider to be little wins. And I wanted to speak about that. Yeah, I'm a follower of Abraham. I don't know if all of you are familiar with the teachings of Abraham. But Abraham teaches us that it's just as easy to manifest a button as it is a castle. There is no difference in energy. Energy is energy. And as humans, we tend to say, $100,000, that's more of a manifestation. That's a bigger manifestation than $1. And yeah, in terms of what we can do with that energy, it is more. But when we look at all energy as equal, just as we look at all people are equal, we have to go back to our beliefs, which is the second point. How do I believe? Do I believe that, yes, we are all equal? Do I believe that $1 is just as important to manifest as the higher amount that we might look at? So we're going to spend some time as we go deeper. This is the masterclass to introduce you to a deeper dive. But as you go deeper, there's a lot of processes that can happen to look at those beliefs, look at our belief system. How do we look at energy? How do we look at what is perceived as more or less, and start leveling that playing field where we're not seeing things as impossible because we're looking at it as, oh, that's a really huge amount. I can never do that. So we want to get rid of the limiting beliefs by opening up to what do we believe. And when you set a goal, there's a process you'll go through and say, do I believe I can achieve that? And if you can't get to that point of saying, yes, I believe, then re-examine that goal and re-examine your beliefs. That's the process of manifesting, is by really letting go of a lot of what we've been taught. We've been, things have been created in the media to show us, oh, this is what you need to look like. This is what you need to have. But we're going to look at, okay, how do I see that? What is that belief? And do I still invest in that belief? Do I still believe that? So there's a lot of getting rid of stuff that will bring us to the point of achieving our goals. And Michele, I think this is such an important one for us to talk about, is that belief in ourselves belief that we can achieve those things that, otherwise would look like it's impossible.
I love that, Teri. And that is, to me, that's a central key, because I know from my own upbringing, and I know from the time that we are born, we are being inundated with other people's beliefs. And that's how we begin to see the world, based on what we've heard around the dinner table, just in day-to-day living, our parents, our siblings, our teachers, the media. And all of this starts to form in our minds, our vision of the world. Now, some of the messages we receive are great. I'm sure we all have received some really wonderful messages. And there are a lot of messages that we receive that are very disempowering and very biased. And so all of that, and that's on a subconscious level. And one of the things that I always say, and I believe this with my whole heart and soul, if you think that your conscious mind is running the show, I got to tell you, it's really not. Because when we hear information that comes in, it immediately goes down, right down to your subconscious, and your subconscious goes through its files. You can picture somebody in there going through the files and saying, okay, when did I hear this before? What's my opinion on that? And then it shoots up, and then you make a decision. But your conscious mind is not making the decisions, it's your subconscious. And so part of what we do, and part of my Living Miraculously program, one of the chapters in there is, let's go on an emotional archaeological dig. Let's get in there and figure out what beliefs are running us. And sometimes it can be a little bit scary, but when you're doing it with other people in a safe environment, in a place where you feel comfortable, you can start bringing up those little pieces and looking at it and not be afraid and say, wow, so that's why I react this way. You get to learn about your triggers, and you get to stop being triggered, which is another huge gift when you start doing this work, right? Wouldn't it be great to not get tossed around or thrown around by what other people say and do? That to me is such a gift, such a gift. So that's part of your whole belief system that we really believe you have to dig in and work on. And when you do that, that's when miracles happen. And something else that you said, Teri, sparked in me something that's in the Course in Miracles, if any of you are familiar with that. In the Course in Miracles, it says there are no order of miracles, as you had mentioned, Teri. $1,000 or $100,000. It's all about energy. But we're the ones who label things as hard, as difficult, or not. So getting to your beliefs is central, is a really important piece of manifesting things in your life. So what do you think, Teri? Do you have anything else you want to add to that?
It's an ongoing process. So if you're not there yet to where you can hold a goal out in front of you and truly believe that you can achieve it, be gentle with yourself. Just know that we're all works in progress. And, we're just doing the best we can with what we got. We're all here. And the more we can encourage each other and be gentle with each other, then the more we're going to succeed at this thing called life. And that's, I think, the ultimate goal is to live a life that's full, a life that's happy and joyous. And we can look forward to waking up in the morning. So yeah, belief is I think it's the crux of it all. It's like what we really pull in that energy, and then we can go forward from there and spring forward.
I know that once, for me, the big a huge change for me was getting to my beliefs. And I'm still working on it, by the way. It's always, to me, it's a work in progress. But when I was able to stop being triggered as often by what was going on around me, it frees up so much of your energy. Because one of the things, and Teri and I talked about this just the other day, if you can imagine, let's just say you have 100 circuits of energy to run your body and to run your emotional body, your physical body, your mental body, your spiritual body. So we have all of these energy circuits that are running our body, and we have 100 circuits, right? So if I'm giving 20% of that to what he said or she said, or another 15% of to worry about what's going to happen because I heard something on the news, and so on and so forth, you're depleting your bank account of available energy to keep your body, your mind, your spirit, and your soul running optimally. And so that's another reason, again, about getting to your beliefs and not being either triggered or not buying into what somebody else says to you or has said to you. So again, we could talk about this topic for weeks and weeks and weeks. It's that important and that serious, but we do have to move on. So number 3.
Michele, I think we have a question.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. Yes, Jack. Yes, you have a question.
Yeah, just I think a quickie. Like when you're talking about, not listening to what other people are saying about you. What I find sometimes, because I agree, you don't want that to influence you too much or go that way and just say, oh my God, I guess I can't do it because they said I can't. But the other time, though, I listen to what other people say to me and about me, because it oftentimes gives me some understanding of myself. So I mean, I guess the other thing is, I like to see or know what your thoughts are and how you can use that in a positive way.
Okay, that's a really good question. And thank you for that, Jack. And I get what you're saying, because I think, though, when we're hearing things that validate us, then that's wonderful. We do want to surround ourselves with people who validate us. But another part of what you're saying, and I get that, people are also our mirror. And I think, is that kind of what you're referring to, that you can learn a lot about yourself through other people and that kind of mirroring that goes on?
Yeah, I mean, that's a lot closer. Yeah, I'm not talking about validating. I mean, that of course is great. I mean, that helps a lot.
Yeah.
But I was talking about maybe negative or maybe things that you didn't know about yourself. Yeah, but kind of, yeah, make a mirror. I guess that's a good way of putting it. I'll let it go at that. That sounds good.
Okay, yeah, and I absolutely, and again, it's hard to really go deep in this little short presentation, but I really thank you for bringing that up, Jack, because that's the truth. And as I had mentioned before, it's all about our relationships with other people, and our relationships with other people will show us something about ourselves. So when somebody triggers us, right, you can look at that person, you could be really upset, or you could say, what do I need to learn from this interaction or this transaction with this person? What is it in me that I'm seeing in them? And again, I'm just kind of isolating that right now because, and I think, Teri, you would agree, that is a deep dive when it comes to the mirror effect with other people. And that's very, very important. So again, I got to thank you, Jack, for bringing that up. It's a really good point. Do you want to expand on that a little bit, Teri?
I just think it's a great point. And one thing that I'll throw out there is, Michele, you were talking about when people trigger us to look at, oh, what am I seeing? What is it that maybe I need to look at right now? So instead of getting upset because somebody has triggered you and being upset with them, say, oh, I'm just going to shut that person out of my life. I don't want to have anything to do with them anymore. Instead of that reaction, think of it as, I am so grateful to that person for showing up as a teacher for me, for showing up as the mirror of what I needed to look at right now. And you might not see it immediately. You might not find, you go, oh, that's not in me. No, that's their stuff. That's
Right.
them. That's all them. It's never all them. So if we can say, oh, I'm so grateful for this teacher showing up, and let me just look at myself now and not look outside of me, not look at them or what they're doing or what they're saying, but go back inside. And that gratitude will take you a long way in learning about what you're being shown.
Right. And also, I just want to mention again along that line, it doesn't mean that that person who is being ugly or whatever it is isn't responsible for their actions, but it's not about them. It's about us. And Jack, you have your hand up again. You wanted to add something?
Yeah, just quickly, I just wanted to say that sometimes in my life, when people have pointed out something to me, and it could be positive or negative, but I want to focus on when they pointed out something that maybe a little negative. Those have been some of the happiest moments in my life. To have somebody tell me something about myself that I didn't know.
Wow.
And I thought, wow, this is fantastic. And that could be good or bad.
Wow. Well, it sounds like you're pretty open though to growth and evolving, I would say, right? Because
Yeah,
most
yeah.
other people would say, oh, they're in, I don't like this word, but they're an a-hole or they're this or that. And that always kind of makes me cringe because there's always something for us to learn, from it's all about relationships, right? So, yeah, and that's why beliefs and how this conversation now has evolved and how it's been changed. That's how deep the whole subject and topic of beliefs can go. It's a very, very deep and important part of your manifesting. But we're going to move on, right? We're going to move on to the next one is keep your goals visible. They're visible. They're not a set and forget deal. They have to remain top of mind. And if you want to continue making progress, I mean, that's why we did the 30-day manifestation challenge. It's not just, okay, I'm going to do a vision board and, oh, this is so much fun. Okay. And then where is your vision board? Do you look at it every day? Do you review your affirmations? This is a daily commitment if you want to change things in your life. I mean, if you don't and you're happy, God bless you, the way things are going in your life, that's wonderful. Keep doing what you're doing. If you want to up level, you want to change things and you know what your why is, you're digging in there, you're figuring out what your beliefs are, what your triggers are, then you want to keep your goals visible. So do you want to talk a little bit more about that, Teri?
What I would like to add to that, Michele, is anytime that you're trying to create a change in your life, which is your vision board, those are the changes that you want to see in your life. Just like Brookie wanted to bring in romance, Kathy wanted to bring in money, the other Kathy wanted to bring in a great success in her family's life. Whatever that might look like that's on your vision board, always remember that you are the one setting those goals, those visions, and you have to put yourself first. And sometimes that means shutting out, what other people are going to criticize or put their input into. You have to keep yourself first and foremost lifted up. And however you can do that, if it's a support group, if it's a partner, whatever is going to bring you to keeping your energy uplifted. And we did that during the 30 days. We tried every day to bring something positive, some new form of a question or something for you to look at and focus on, giving you a focus set every day. And that's important, but you have to do the work. And even though, your vision board might be right there where you see it every day, you say hi to it, or like with me, as I travel, I have the vision cards. So they're always with me. I can always pull them out every day and say, okay, this is my vision. This is what I'm calling to me. But you have to do the inner work, and it has to be you first. Just like with anything in life, you have to take care of yourself first before you can have that time to give to others in your life or to even these goals. So taking care of yourself is such an important part of keeping it visible, making that commitment to yourself to do that.
Yeah, I have a ritual, every morning that I get up pretty early because the first thing I want to do is meditate. That's the first thing I want to do. And I do this without going into a lot of detail, this galactic meditation, because supposedly between the hours of 5 and 7, this is when the strongest galactic energy is available and it's easier to access. And since we're moving into, I guess it's a 5D experience on this planet, I believe that it's really important to tap into that galactic energy. So anyway, I do that and I review my affirmations and set an intention, for the day, and I exercise, and I try to get this all done before 8 o'clock in the morning. And sometimes it's a little bit of a challenge, but I pretty much stick to it. And it's amazing how it sets the pace and the tone of the day. Now, does every day go swimmingly well for me? No, it doesn't. But that's life. But for the most part, if I start the day off like that, there's definitely a shift. And then I get inspiration or I get ideas. So there's so much that we can do to raise our vibration, to step into, our manifestation goals, to up level, to evolve spiritually. And that's what we're here talking about tonight. And the next point, because I realize it's getting close to the hour, is to really important is to hold yourself accountable, because as we started off tonight, we were talking about that. You know how it goes. You start off feeling so enthused, really excited. And that's with most new things that we want to do, right? And then days go by and you might say, well, I think I'm just going to skip today. Or maybe you even forget. And before you know it, you're starting to lose that high vibe, or worse, negative thoughts start to creep in. And sometimes people go, oh, this stuff doesn't really work. So that's why it's so important to have an accountability partner, or like what we had created, a group to keep you accountable, to share ideas, to lift you up when you're feeling crappy or you feel like you're sliding. Having someone or a group to be accountable to is going to ensure that you stay committed, even when things get difficult. So do you want to talk about that a little bit, Teri, and some of our ideas that we have?
The commitment part to me is so important, just like up there with the beliefs. If you can't hold the belief, then you're not going to achieve it. The same thing, if you don't hold a commitment, you're not going to achieve it. I had written a blog, the angels have me writing blogs every night. And a few days ago, I wrote one called I Do. And I wasn't sure where they were
yes.
going with this, but I want to share just a little bit of that blog with you because I feel like it's so important for us to understand what we are committing to. We can talk about committing to a goal, committing to a person, but this came out with an inspiration from the angels.
Mm.
Do you take this life for better or for worse, in good and in bad, in sickness and in health? Will you work to create a bond of honesty, respect, acceptance, and gratitude, one that withstands the tides of time and changes and grows each day? Do you promise to always listen to hear instead of listening to respond? Promise to always lead with patience, kindness, and perspective, and promise to always encourage and support yourself. It's a commitment to the very best life possible, no matter what.
Mm.
You know, my friend Karen Palmer, she has this saying that was inspired by her father before he passed. And it's, there's always time for love, no matter what. And there's always time for us to make that commitment to being our very best self, living our very, very best life, no matter what. And that's what the message was from the angels. And that's the message of commitment. How much are you willing to commit to being that very best you possible and falling in love with life? That is such a beautiful, beautiful energy. Just feel that. I want you all to feel that right now. Can you honestly say, I love my life? Can you say that and mean it? Because for years I couldn't. That wasn't even on my radar. It was all a matter of struggle and survival until I could learn to say, you know what? I love my life.
Mhm.
It was then that things started changing and shifting and becoming what I wanted to become and what I wanted to have in my life.
Mhm.
So I encourage all of you to take those words to heart that the angels inspired. Say your I do to life and let that be what lifts you every day.
That is
Beautiful.
beautiful,
Yeah.
Terry.
Beautiful,
And I
Terry.
love that blog that you wrote, I do. And to tag along on that, to say, I love myself as well, to have love for yourself. And that's something else that we can do, that we do in workshops, is do a commitment ceremony where you commit to yourself. That is really powerful, to be able to look in the mirror and say, I love you so much. I say that to different parts of my body, you know, like, this is going to sound really weird. I know it, but I'm going to say it anyway. Like, because I want to keep my body healthy. So I always say to different parts, or my breasts, I love you so much. Thank you, you know, for being part of my body, even though there are parts of my body that I would want to change, but I still say to every part of my body, I really love you. Thank you. Thank you for supporting me. And so having a commitment ceremony, loving your life and loving yourself, really important, really important. So along of those lines, those are the 4 tips. And I know that we just scratched the surface, but we would also invite you, if you want to go deeper, if you want to evolve even more, if you want to be involved with a group of people that will support you, and to go deep, to learn more about who you are, to really, really put your manifestation on the fast track, right? We're offering a mentoring group. And do you want to talk a little bit more about that, Teri, or talk about our mentoring group that we're going to launch?
Yes, we have this in the works. And if you have liked the experience that you've had with us, either just being in the masterclass or participating in that 30-day challenge, then you know that Michele and I both have a lot to bring to the table. We've been doing this for a while, and we have so much that we have studied and worked through ourselves, but also that we've been trained in. We're both trained life coaches. And so what we have put together is something called Angelic Miracle Manifestations.
I love that.
It's going to be an online environment where we're going to meet with you twice a month. So there's going to be set dates that will hold these. And in those training sessions with Michele and myself, you're going to learn so much. You are going to receive more in-depth tools that you'll be able to use to bring more manifestations in. You're going to have encouragement still from the ones that you've been involved with that have loved on and encouraged each other, but it will be a higher place of encouragement. It will be really digging in and helping you to stay accountable with yourself and with each other. It's just going to be that deeper dive. It's going to be a social community where we celebrate each other's wins, where we encourage you if you need that breakthrough, if something's not happening. And so we put this together. I just today did the registration jot form. So I encourage you not to do it today because I've still got a little tweak to that I need to do. But just know that it's out there and it's in the works. And the first date is March 2nd. So don't sign up today, sign up tomorrow. I don't normally say that, but I just want to make sure that jot form is going to do what it needs to do for you to register for the mentoring group. And
So where would they go, Teri, to register?
Okay.
How will we get the?
Yeah, so I'm going, as soon as we get off of here, I'm going to try to get it complete. There was just something with the pay link that I had to fix on it. And I didn't have time before the meeting started tonight, but I will get that fixed as soon as we get off the air.
Okay.
Okay, and it'll have all the information in there of what we're offering. Michele is going to be teaching the lessons from the Year of Living Miraculously. And I will bring in the angel aspect. I will be teaching an angel each month to help us work with our manifesting. And we'll have a lot of lessons and blessings that when we come together, you're going to get such benefit from this membership group that you're going to be glad you did it. It's a gift that you can give yourself.
Right. And it's a gift for us as well. That's one thing. Again, we're all in this together. So we're all teachers and students at the same time. So I think that's the beautiful part. And then the other beautiful part is since this is a new program that we're doing together, we've done different programs like this separately, but Teri and I really work so well together, and the energy is so uplifting and so positive. So that's why we decided to do this together. So what is this? What is the price of this? This is a new program, and we are going to be doing it again. But right now, since we're just launching it, we're going to be offering it at a really ridiculously low price of $33 a month. And we just want to tell you that the next time we offer it, it's not going to be $33. And it's for a 6-month program. So you can pay, if you decide that, hey, I really would like to be involved in this, you want to get the support and the exercises and the other benefits of it. We'll have some hypnotherapy techniques as well. Teri's bringing in the angels. I'm bringing in the Year of Living Miraculously. So it's $33 a month, or it's $177 for 6 months. And I think that's a deal. I really do think that's an incredible deal. And we'd love to have you join us on this journey and see what miracles we can manifest together. And certainly part of this will be to help heal this planet that so desperately needs it as well.
When we heal ourselves, we are healing the planet. We're bringing more positive energy into the mix of the whole planet. And I just want to say, you know, there's very few places you can go to get the quality of the training that's going to be given over these next 6 months. You would pay the 6-month fee for one class of what we're going to offer. So it really is. We wanted to make it affordable so that more people can benefit and see the growth that can happen over 6 months. And we hope that all of you will consider being a part of that. And thank you in advance for those who are going to sign up. I'd like to open it up and see if there's any questions.
Yes, because
anybody wants to share.
Well, I
before
see
we-
Kathy does. And I know that we went over, and I'm very mindful of the time. So I don't want to keep us on too long, but I do want to, and I know Teri wants to answer any questions you might have. So Kathy, I see your hand up.
Okay. Yeah, on your last point, your last tip, it was hold yourself accountable, have an accountable partner. Now, in my case, and looks like Charlie over there too with Erica and a few others, I have Bob, you know, and we are starting to work together more and more. But for those of us who don't have that situation, is there a way to bring them together as well to help people maybe in the same situations that have the same kind of goals in our own group, the ones up that right are here right now?
Okay. I'm not quite sure I completely understand what you're asking, Kathy. I'm sorry.
Is it like an accountability partner? Is that what you're asking, Kathy?
Yeah,
Oh.
a partner to help hold you,
Yeah.
to make sure that you're, you know, following your goals, you're staying on your path for whatever your vision board was a creation of.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I have my husband because he's the actual part of it. And some people who are single, you know, I know you should hold yourself accountable, but maybe you need support of others, like a group support. And I guess that's what you were getting to with your new thing that you're developing with your mentoring group, right?
Correct. That's exactly it.
But without going the whole thing of belonging to that group, is there a way that some of us can just connect with each other?
Well, sure.
And help each other along the way to achieve those goals.
Sure. What we're offering, and I think that's great. I mean, yes, I absolutely support and agree that, which was the fourth point, you need an accountability partner. And this is more than just being accountable. What we're offering are additional teachings and the support of Teri and I, and also a lot of the experience that we've had over the years, and we're bringing that to the table as well. But yeah, it's a great idea to connect up with someone and have an accountability partner. I think that's a really good idea. But are you asking more than that? Am I missing something, or? You're on mute. Yeah, okay.
Okay. Sorry. Oops. Sorry, Christine.
Sorry, that's fine. Thank you for this manifesting class, and thank you for the vision board. I think that I'm losing weight and I lost like 5 pounds. So that's good.
Yay.
Wow.
Good job, Christine.
Let's all give the party hat if you can find it on your reactions. I love that.
I
Celebrate. Yes.
I do in fasting. I eat with 2 meals of a day now, and I'm much healthier. So that's a part of the angels telling me.
Yay.
Yeah. Yay.
Beautiful. Thank you for that testimony, Christine. And yes, we're going to help support you every day through that.
Yeah,
Yes.
Teri was teaching me how to fast.
So, Kathy, did you have something else you wanted to say?
Well, just like I was saying, basically, when you first brought up the accountability thing,
Mhm.
and you said it would be good to have an accountable partner. Like I said, I have one in real life.
Yes.
I'm
Yes.
fortunate, but there are those of us here, I'm sure, that are single
Mhm.
or just don't have that support system. And I think it's important that if you're going to have this vision and you want to stay focused, because I even doubt, well, Teri saw it today firsthand, when something went wrong, just a little bit through a little cinch into things, I started losing faith again.
Mhm.
So, I know there must be someone else out there that might need somebody there just to give them a little bit of pat on the back. Look, you're doing fine. You can do this. Suzanne, you can pass those dang math tests. I know you can. That kind of thing.
Yeah, no, you're right. You're right. And I guess we could, Teri and I could talk about that and see how we can, connect people if that's what you're suggesting. Yeah,
Yes.
sure.
Absolutely. We can make that a part of the 6 months.
Yes. Anybody else have any other questions or comments?
All right.
Okay.
Well, I want to thank everybody for being here. You guys have been absolutely amazing, and the energy is really beautiful. I'm excited. I'm excited about life. I'm excited about everyone's journey. When you have a win, we all win. I love that. And I can get excited for somebody getting what it is that you want to achieve in life. It makes me feel good. And how many people do you know that have that energy of, oh, well, that's good, but I didn't get mine. And we don't have that in this group. We have such beautiful people that celebrate each other and celebrate all the wins. And we want to keep that momentum going. We want you to really feel that you're being seen and heard and acknowledged and loved no matter what. And when you have a win, we all win with you because we all celebrate with you. And I just wanted to take a moment before Michele says goodbye to everyone and say hello to those who were watching us. We did go live. We have Julie Kiss, Andrea Gregg, Isabel, Linda Lemieux, Annie Seven. Thank you all for being here, for participating in this masterclass. It was so good to see that we had the audience that was benefiting from this as well.
Yeah. So thank you all again for being a part of this. And for those of you who were with our most recent group, thank you so much. You added so much to it. And we really got so much out of it as well. And it was really such a great group of women, right? Powerful and up and really angels. So
and Charlie.
And Charlie.
And Charlie, right. Sorry.
Yeah, and Bob.
So if you're going to figure out how to get the link to everyone and anyone who's really interested, or if you know somebody else who might be interested, let us know. And we
can
will
send out. We'll send out an email. I'll share the jot form with Michele, and we'll both send out an email like we did for this masterclass. And the link will be there. All you have to do is click on it and go in and register for it.
Yeah. What day of the week is that? And what time?
It's going to be different days of the week, but it's going to be set days. I think, Michele, is it the first and third?
It's the the first and third Wednesdays of every month.
Oh, and
Except,
what
and-
time?
what time did we say? We said
6:30 Eastern.
Right. Mhm.
6:30 Eastern, okay. For like an hour each?
Mhm.
Yeah,
Yeah, each training
Okay.
session will be an hour.
okay. First and third Wednesday. Okay. So it's going to be Wednesday every month, so, first and third. Okay,
Yeah.
thank you.
And there'll be other, there's other, whoever signs up, we will also tell you a little bit more obviously about the program and what it involves, and that we, of course, are accessible to you. And it's not going to be like, we'll just see you on those 2 Wednesdays. We will have a group and we will always be posting different either exercises or encouraging posts. And also you get to ask any questions if you feel stuck. So it's a really very all-inclusive type of program.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Charlie.
Thank you, Michelle.
Okay,
Okay, so
okay, let's get off of here.
again, yeah, thank you guys so much for being here, and sorry we went over, but we really do appreciate it. God bless you all, and I wish you all to manifest your most perfect life, because you can do it. Don't have any doubts about that. So, yeah.
Absolutely.